addict. I'm a processed food addict.
Don't you think processed food is tasted in the brain? I don't,
Yes.
I was thinking about that this morning. Processed food isn't tasted, you don't really taste it that much in your mouth, maybe the first bite, but after that, you're
Yes.
tasting it in your brain.
Got
You're
it.
eating
Yes.
taste in your gut. Real food, whole food, you taste in your mouth and your gut.
Yes.
Yes.
Processed food, ultra processed food, you taste in your brain. And the brain says, whatever you do, don't stop. Do not,
Yes.
what I
Give me
don't care
more.
And
whatever it
right.
takes, you got to keep going.
And
So
nutrients satisfy you the way that processed foods never do.
you will never find satisfaction through
Yes.
a fire hose of dopamine. It just doesn't.
Yes.
There, that's not how
Exactly.
physiology works.
Exactly.
So how did that lead into you finding recovery? So you've got this information, you're aware something's going on. So how does that then segue into I'm going to begin recovery? Where do you even start?
So I went online and I remember in my Google bar said, I am a food addict. Please send help or something,
Yeah.
And so this recovery group came up. I was a part of it. I had some success in it. I ended up really leaning in to Paige and our morning talks. And then I did some work one-on-one with Paige and now am in the RFR. And when I heard that you and Jamie were, beginning this, I was just so thrilled. Um, it's just a group of like-minded people that understand, and that is the ultimate connection, right? I mean, even more so, sometimes than with family members, because it's people that you can be vulnerable with your deepest, darkest.
It's those tender parts of us, right?
Right.
Yeah.
It's tribe. It's a tribe versus a family,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Not better or worse, just different.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, I just began to work on my recovery in the previous group and now in the RFR. Abstinence from a few things has been key for me. Um, and I think I'm still working on if there's other things that I need to add to my list. But basically, there was three big ones, and just getting off those, I feel
What were
uh,
those, Kelly?
those were sugars, flours, and alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
I would say those are kind of my trifecta. And I think everyone has personal ones that they might have those plus some. But for me, just eliminating those has been huge.
Yeah.
And then
Love
the
it.
main thing with RFR as opposed to the last group is that RFR, you guys have designed these branches for us that I just love so much. And they help us appreciate and get pleasure from these other sources
Mm-hmm.
that is more sustainable for a long-term joy with no crash. So I think that's where my work in recovery has been.
Yes. It's training our dopamine circuits to seek out pleasure from things that aren't chemicals or substances, right? Because we all know processed foods are substances. They're not, sugar is a substance. There's no flour is a substance. It's no shock that those substances look exactly like cocaine and heroin and other substances. That's
Right,
because they are.
right. They're
They're not
also a white powdered substance. Like
exactly. That's my point.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, they literally look like it. Yeah, exactly.
exactly. So, when you think about your benefits in recovery,
Hmm.
what have been the biggest benefits for you so far? You mentioned you're fairly new in recovery within, it sounds like, a couple of years. Is that right?
Yeah, I'd say about 2.5 years.
Okay. So what are your
Mhm.
biggest benefits now to being in recovery?
Yeah, so my biggest benefits, when I'm clear-headed and have no fog, I think I'm just able to have connection. I just said to Paige earlier, I went to get my son at the bus stop, and this woman that was walking her dog, I had a nice conversation with her. If I
Mm.
had been in my addiction, I wouldn't have that type of connection. I would have no energy for it.
Mhm.
So now I have energy to enjoy small things like that connection or like a beautiful fall day, or going fishing with my son, taking my kids for a walk. I mean, these are beautiful parts of life that I just moved through the motions of living. Again, I was fake it until you make it. I mean, from the outside, maybe people think that it was a happy life, but yeah, I just really enjoy beautiful things. And then secondly, and this part I didn't expect, but now in recovery, I feel alive enough that I want to get out of my comfort zone. Even just being on this video with, you guys. My husband and I coached my son's soccer team. I I don't know. I'm just not afraid to fail. I mean, what is the big deal? I feel like,
Failure is feedback. That's right.
yeah,
Just
yeah.
feedback.
That's